What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another Manchester City video, where today we're going to be doing the preview of Man City's game against Sunderland at home in the Premier League. A big game here where Man City's defence been very leaky, in particular in the second half, and that's got to change against a very good Sunderland side who are very physical, like to defend, like to get forward, know where the back of the net is, and it's just going to be a very tough 90 minutes of football. A game, though, that Man City, if they want to win the Premier League come May, have got to win. So, having a look then at the match information for this game. This game taking place at the Etihad Stadium for Premier League match day number 15 on Saturday, 6th of December 2025 with a 3 p.m. GMT kickoff time. Anybody heading to the Etihad Stadium, do enjoy yourselves. This game not being broadcast live in the UK because it's a 3 p.m. Saturday game. It does mean it's in the blackout, which just means that the game isn't being broadcast live in the United Kingdom. So, having a look at when these two sides last met. They last met on the 13th of August 2016 in the Premier League at the Etihad Stadium, and Man City won that day by 2-1. Not played Sunderland in 9 years in the Premier League. So, our opponents, Sunderland, formed in 1879, led by manager Regis Lebris, currently find themselves 6th in the Premier League. In terms of their form, 14 games played, they've won 6, drawn 5 and lost just 3 games this season in the Premier League. However, they have won 1 of their last 5 games. They drew midweek away against Liverpool 1-1. They did lead in that game, and Liverpool were on the ropes for a large majority of the game, and Sunderland did have an opportunity to win it late on. However, they didn't manage to take that opportunity, so they had to settle for a draw. A really good draw for them on the road at Anfield, though, and unlucky not to win that game. They did beat AFC Bournemouth at home 3-2 last weekend. They were 2-0 behind in that game as well. Their one loss in that time was away against Fulham, which they lost by 1-0. But despite only winning 1 in the last 5 games, Sunderland having an outstanding season. So, having a look at where the dangers are going to be. Well, Sunderland are good on the ball. They're strong, they're physical, very fit. They do a lot of running. They chase, they press. It's not ideal, this, for Manchester City. So, we're having a look at this, and what is ideal is factual. This is their 3rd game in a week, and Manchester City, have squad depth there, and when we've rotated, I know a lot of people haven't been impressed, but Sunderland don't have too many quality options when it comes to their rotation. So a team that's so physical and a team that likes to run, fatigue could be an issue, in particular when playing on that small narrow pitch at Anfield. It's not an easy place to go and press and keep that up for 90 minutes, and then a few days later to go to the Etihad Stadium and you've got to do the same against a team like Man City, who are so good with ball at their feet. So I imagine this might be, as long as City can tighten up, a game where City are happy to knock the ball around, have the possession and wait for the opportunities to arise if Sunderland end up making their mistakes. And I think I'd prefer, because I feel like Man City's best bet of picking up a win here is to play a very careful game. If they go all guns blazing and just looking to attack and leaving themselves wide open and exposed at the back, Sunderland defensively will hold firm and they will find ways to be able to pick Man City apart. So we've got to be very careful. This has got all the ingredients of Man City potentially dropping points if we don't play the perfect game. So we've got to be careful. We've got to play that perfect game, and if we can, obviously play our phases, first 10-15 minutes of the game, you're not making the mistakes, you're not handing Sunderland anything, you're working hard, you're pushing forward, you're trying to score goals. If you can get that all-important opening goal, then you keep pushing, you try and get that killer 2-goal cushion, and you keep going from there, and then you've just got to sit tight defensively, because that's been very much a concern for City in our last 2 games against Leeds United and against Fulham as well, where we blew a 2-0 lead against Leeds United. Thankfully, we managed to pick up a 91st minute goal through Phil Foden to pick up the 3 points, and obviously 5-1 up against Fulham. It should have been a formality in that second half once we were 5-1 up, and the fact that Fulham had nearly 20 minutes to see if they could find an equaliser, and very nearly did, had we not cleared the ball on the line, we'd have surrendered a 5-1 lead in the space of, half an hour or so. So, these are things that we were talking about in the first half last season, that City weren't doing very well. And we've got to learn them lessons, and we've really got to learn to tighten up. So just having a look at Sunderland's squad, I'm looking at their midfield, Siddiqui, Granit Xhaka. You know, there's power, there's presence, there's pressing. There's a lot of quality there in that central midfield. So I'm looking here and thinking potentially a midfield battle, because Sunderland will go with a back four. They're not going to go with a low block, so to speak. They will if they need to. However, if Man City allow Sunderland to have a little bit more of the ball, they'll be more than happy to knock the ball forward and also get players forward. It might be a game that City end up having 60-70% of the ball, but Sunderland will be more than happy for that to be the case, and they'll be more than capable of creating 4 or 5 good opportunities in the game, like we had against Newcastle away recently, where they're just going to be patient, wait for the gaps to open up and exploit Manchester City. And Newcastle weren't clinical that day, yet they still won the game. So if Sunderland can be clinical here, we could have a lot of problems. So we need to be very careful. And I'm looking at Bobby starting up top as a potential danger as well. I'm looking at Talby as a potential option out wide, who scored against Liverpool midweek as well. So some good quality there for Sunderland. Now looking at the injuries, Diarra's out and Elise is out as well for them. So I'm expecting them to line up with a 5-4-1 formation. Rowe starting in goal. The back five made up of Hume, Mukiele, Balford, Alderete, Mandava, Siddiqui, Xhaka, Talby, Lafie and Brobby starting up top. Now for Manchester City, formed in 1894, led by manager Pep Guardiola, we find ourselves second in the Premier League. We're 5 points behind Arsenal. Arsenal play first, so they've got the opportunity to go 8 points clear. So this is a huge weekend when it comes to Man City and the title race, even this early in the season. Arsenal away against Aston Villa. Arsenal dropped points against an in-form Aston Villa side in one of the most difficult away games that they could hope for. Then Man City could have their tails up, and that could be a huge boost if we see Arsenal draw or even lose that game. And I wouldn't rule out Aston Villa doing something, because they're a very good team who are hot in form. I think sitting in 3rd place themselves, so very much a danger. And you know, keep an eye on that game before the City game, and if we could get a favour of Aston Villa, then that could put Man City in real good stead. And you know, best case scenario here is Aston Villa do win at Villa Park against Arsenal, which isn't unrealistic in my opinion, and we win here against Sunderland. We could be 2 points behind Arsenal by the time Saturday is done and dusted. So this is very much an important game, as is that Aston Villa-Arsenal game as well. Now having a look at Man City's form after back-to-back losses against Newcastle 2-1 in the Premier League away from home and Bayer Leverkusen 2-0 at home in the Champions League, we've got back-to-back wins just about, with 3-2 winners against Leeds despite being 2-0 up in that game and surrendering a 2-goal advantage in the second half, and against Fulham where we won by 5-4 away from home in our last game, where we were 5-1 up in the second half, and 3 unanswered goals in the second half from Fulham meant we had a huge grandstand finish, which City managed to tighten up and see that game out and pick up a big 3 points. So with power and pace available here for Sunderland, we really need to tighten up, and I'm trying to put a lot of emphasis on us tightening up here, because we can't afford to keep needing to score, you know, 5 goals to win a game and 3 goals against Leeds United. We just can't afford to do that. We've got to turn up, we've got to play our game, we've got to defend properly, and it's got to be a case where, you know, sometimes you score a goal or 2 goals and that's enough to win a game, and that's what we've got to try and get back to, because otherwise, you know, we could be on the receiving end of a very big loss at some point, and that's what I'm suspecting could happen. And I'm looking midweek against Real Madrid, if we don't learn to tighten up at the back, we could be on the receiving end of a very heavy loss, and that will do the confidence no good. So we look frail. We need to start toughening ourselves up and pushing from there. December, always a huge month when it comes to teams winning Premier Leagues. We know that. Now, in terms of injury news, Kovacic is out until March, so, you know, some physical presence in midfield missing, along with Rodri, who's also probably going to be out for this game as well. More physical presence for Man City missing in our midfield. So I'm going to pop up my team prediction now. I'm going with City to go with a 4-3-3 formation. I'm worried about Sunderland counter-attacking us, so I want to see some pace at the back. So I'm going with Khusanov over Matheus Nunes for me, and getting him back on the right-hand side. I always felt like we looked more assured on that right-hand side when we had Khusanov playing. So I'm going with Donnarumma in goal, Khusanov on the right-hand side. I go with Nico O'Reilly on the left-hand side, and I'm going Ruben, Diaz and Josko Gvardiol as City's 2 centre-backs. Ake, Stones, they could be options, but I think I'd go go with Ruben Diaz and Josko Gvardiol. I just feel like they need more presence in front of them. So obviously Nico G has been one of City's standout players this season. I just feel like he needs more physical support. With us not having Rodri or Kovacic, that's where they probably would have been starting games like this game against Sunderland. So I'm going with Bernardo, Silva, and a bit more presence for Man City in midfield by having both Reijnders and Phil Foden starting as well. I go Reijnders playing behind the striker, Phil Foden drifts to the right hand side, Doku starts on the left, and I'm going Erling Haaland to start up top. I think Rayan Cherki's really unlucky to miss out on starting this game. We'll see. We could end up starting this game. I'd also like to see some proper minutes for Omar Marmoush from this game as well. Now, in terms of my score prediction, I'm going Man City. I'm feeling confident. I think if we can turn up and tighten up, I think we can make this game about quality and win this game. So I'm going 3-1 winners for Man City. I did see somebody on my Premier League prediction comment their score prediction, and I commented back saying it's not unrealistic when they said they think City might win, and they're going for 7 goals to 5. You wouldn't rule it out with how Man City's defence has been lately. So I'm going for here. Sunderland take the lead early on through a set piece. I'm going City equalise before half time through Phil Foden. I'm going for a much better second half. Fingers crossed for Man City. And I'm going for Bernardo Silva and Tijjani Reijnders. Midfield battles, making things happen to score as well. That's right. I'm not backing Haaland to score. I think Sunderland are going to have 2 or 3 players around him at all times. So I think he's going to struggle for space. So he's going to have to drop deep, which Erling Haaland last few weeks dropping deep has looked pretty impressive. So it might take him out of the game and it might just open up some more space for the likes of Foden, who's been in great form last few games. Jeremy Doku making things happen. Bernardo Silva, Tijjani Reijnders, if they end up starting, they could all make things happen as well. So could be a really big game for them as well. And I really am going here for a midfield battle in Man City's midfield to win that battle. We've won some midfield battles like we did against Liverpool just before the international break. We've also lost midfield battles like we did against Newcastle away, and I think Sunderland are going to look to try and replicate that. So someone like Granit Xhaka is going to be so important for Sunderland in this game. And moving on to my betting tips takes me very nicely onto Granit Xhaka, because if he does end up starting, which I think he will, then for me, I'm backing him to be booked anytime. I think a feisty game, so I am backing yellow cards for this, and I'm going 5+ yellow cards, Granit Xhaka to be yellow carded anytime. City looking a bit fragile at the back. If you like to stick something about scoring, I'd be backing Phil Foden in the form that he's in to score or assist anytime, and I'm going both teams to score for this game as well, because I just don't trust City to keep a clean sheet right now. Now, next up, City take on Real Madrid away in a big Champions League game on Wednesday night. Our next Premier League game is a tough one away from home at Selhurst Park against another physical side in Crystal Palace next Sunday. For Sunderland, a huge game for them. It's just a small matter of the Tyne-Wear derby, where they're going to be taking on Newcastle at home next Sunday as well. A big game of the season, so that should be a real feisty game as well. Now, last note, I won't be doing a live watch-along for this game, unfortunately. I will be back on Wednesday night with another live watch-along for the Madrid away game. However, I am going to the Etihad for this game, so if any of you guys do see me knocking around Manchester or knocking around the Etihad Stadium, do feel free to come and say hello. I don't bite. I do enjoy meeting you guys. So if you are at the Etihad and you do see me, do come and say hello. It is great to meet you guys. I will also have my reaction video up on Sunday morning for this game. So yeah, I will see you guys for that. So that has been today's video. Please do leave a thumbs up on the video. It lets me know that you are enjoying the videos. Don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. Plenty more City content to come from me here on YouTube. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. It is free. Social media links, they're in the description too if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And I'll see you all again for the reaction on Sunday. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.